What's good? What's good? What's good, y'all? My bad. Just like any other day, I'm not gonna say just like any other day, but anytime I have these type of days, I kind of gotta come through and speak on certain things that be on my mind, be on my heart. And today, I'm gonna talk about something that's kind of talked about publicly, but not really a lot, right? So it's gonna be kind of like mixed up into two parts, but I'm gonna try to cut it short, right? All right, so what real men go through. Obviously, me personally, I don't think that life as a man is that hard, right? But there are certain things that we go through that make life hard. That could be from a lack of teaching, that could be from a lack of guidance and leadership, that could be from a lot of things. And my second point on what a man goes through is sometimes you got to lose to win. Just a fact of life. If you've been through any kind of adversity, if you've overcame any amounts of obstacles, then you understand sometimes you have to lose to win, right? So let's just go through some questions that a man might ask himself on his, journey to greatness. The first one is, am I enough? And this don't necessarily have to pertain to just men. This could pertain to females as well. But I know a lot of times myself as a man and a lot of men that I talk to on a daily basis, we ask ourselves these questions, right? So am I enough? The second question would be, am I good enough? The next question would be, will I ever succeed? The fourth question would be, am I lacking guidance and leadership? Or am I even seeking out those things? And last but not least, it would be not so much as a question, but kind of a statement that I hear a lot of people making, but I don't see a lot of people making actions on. And it is, I want better, but I don't know how to attain it, right? So let's address that first question. Am I enough? I believe that us as men, as we go through our day to day, we always ask ourselves this question. Whether it may be the popular thing now, which is dating. For some reason, everybody wants to talk about dating now. I don't think it's that hard. I just think people are terrible human beings. But that's besides the point. Am I enough, right? That could be in your day to day life, whether it may be in your job, your career, right? Whether it may be with your family, whether it may just be you as a person. Maybe you're not really at the point where you have a family and you have a career yet. Maybe you just going through life and you're trying to find your way. You're asking yourself, am I good enough? Now, well, my bad, am I enough? I would like to tell each man to do some deep reflecting and soul searching, right? Because the question, am I enough, always arises from the work you're putting in, I believe, or your competence level. When you're asking yourself, am I enough? It may be due to a certain level of achievement that you haven't attained yet. So I know for myself, right? When asking, am I enough? It was always because I was seeking out something bigger than myself, or I was seeking out a goal that I never really thought was reachable, attainable. So I was always asking myself, like, man, like, am I enough to go and, play in the big leagues? Am I enough to go head to head with these people in this negotiation? Am I enough to go out here and really reach this certain financial status that I want to attain in my life? I was always asking myself that question, like, am I enough? Because I really didn't believe it and I really didn't know how to pursue it, right? So, with the question, am I enough? I would like to tell each and every man right now, you are enough. But with that being said, there's also a lot more work to be done, right? You may be at level one and you want to reach level five. It may be a total of 7 levels. So when you're asking yourself, am I enough? What you need to start doing is planning, strategizing, and you need to be fierce on your rise to stardom. Well, not stardom, maybe your rise to success. You need to be fierce. You need to be relentless. You need to be non-negotiable about everything on that journey and everything in your path, right? So I'm not saying this to put it on other people, because I've asked myself this question as well. Am I enough? You get what I'm saying? I come from a sports background, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of people who grew up with me already know that. People that didn't grow up with me may not know that. I came up in a sports background. When you're competing for higher positions and, to be that starting role, that starting title, that go-to guy, you're always going to ask yourself, am I enough, until you accomplish it? And even when you get that starting position, there's still plays that you have to make. There's still things that you have to do, whether it may be a job, a career, entrepreneurship. You're always going to ask yourself, am I enough? But that's, to me, is going to come from the work you put in and your competency level, right? So next question is, am I good enough? Again, this may come down to competency and the work you put in, but I'm going to boil it down to one thing, and that's competition. Now, with the competition, I believe you don't have to compete with everybody else or with even somebody else. Me personally, whether it may be internal or external, I compete with everybody because it's just a real thing, right? When you put in a job application, essentially you're competing against the thousands and thousands and thousands of other people who want the same exact job as you do. So if you're not competitive, you may fall off. Sometimes it's just who you know. Actually, a lot of times it's who you know. So you might want to be more competitive in networking. That might be a competition. But me personally, I'm always competing with, maybe other people, not in a negative manner, but as in, oh, this person's really good at that. I want to get like this person. Or, oh, that's the person that I gotta beat if I want this. Or that's the person that I gotta compete with if I want to achieve this. You see what I'm saying? But more so than anything, I compete with myself. Right. So I'm gonna take it back to the first thing I said. My competitive drive, all like really comes from sports, right? But also at the same time is admiration. So if I see somebody who's in the position or who has the things I want, my thing isn't to go over there and try to snake them out and, cross them out and do a lot of negative things towards that person to make them lose that position. It's just that, like, oh, you're very good at that. That's, to me, that's competition. Because I feel like I'm good, and I see that you're obviously good. You've already proved that. So now my next goal is to become like you or to become better. That's to push each other. That's to push myself. Whether this person know I'm competing with them, or I just know internally, like, hey, I gotta step my game up to get like them. It's nothing negative. Now don't get it confused. It's nothing negative. But it's the way that I keep myself, keep that fire burning inside of me. It's the way that I stay driven. I see somebody who I admire and I'm like, holy crap, like this is the person I gotta compete with. It kind of gets me excited. Now when it's competing with myself, I look in the mirror each morning or every day before I go to sleep and I think, oh man, I worked on this in the gym, but it's not developing the way I wanted to. Oh, I studied this yesterday, but I'm not retaining the knowledge and the information as well as I wanted to. I can't remember it as well. So maybe I need to go back and study that body of work a little bit more so that way I'm more familiar. That way I can teach it to others if need be, or I can have it when the time comes that I need to apply it, right? So that's the competition that I have with myself. I'm always self-critiquing. I'm my biggest critic, but also I'm competing with the man I was yesterday, right? You get what I'm saying? The first part was me competing with people out of admiration. Like, I really like what you do. I really like your talent. I really like your skill set. I like that you're good at it. I like that you market yourself well. And I like that you're achieving success with that. So that competitive drives come from that, right? Let's make that very understood. It's nothing negative. I just like competition, period. Even if I'm the person on top and somebody's coming to take that spot, I encourage you to come take it because I want the people that's up under me or that's coming behind me to be stronger than me. That's the only way that we can keep society going and keep it progressive, right? Okay. So the next question would be that men ask themselves is, will I ever succeed? Now this is funny, right? This is funny because I look back on certain things and I just laugh sometimes. I remember I was in a McDonald's parking lot one weekend. I came home from college, and me and my dad just going back and forth. You know how men get, like father and son type stuff. Nothing bad, nothing him really chastising me. We just going back and forth about certain things about life. His perspective being at the age he was at, me and my perspective being young and dumb, right? And I had said one comment about, I need this to happen fast. I don't got time to wait. And he was like, son, everything takes time. And it clicked in my head, and I was like, no, it don't. No, it don't. Not for everybody, and certainly not for certain people. Everything doesn't take time. I'm just being honest, man. But for the average person, for most people, it is going to take some time, right? So going through your day to day and looking back over your life, doing that self reflection that I was talking about, us as men, we will ask ourselves, like, dang, man, I've been grinding for so long. I've been doing this for so long. It's like I'm getting overlooked. I'm slept on. I'm the underdog. Like, nobody really recognizing my talent. Nobody really seeking me out like that. And you get to that point where you just so fed up and you so tired and you ready to give up, and you asking yourself, like, am I ever gonna succeed at this? I done had so many failed businesses and so many failed endeavors. Like, am I ever gonna succeed at anything? And I'm here to tell you, you won't. You 100% won't if you quit. That's my biggest thing, right? And I use it in most simplest terms, right? I say the gym, because that's something that is not immediate results, but it's immediate upon the eye. You can look at somebody and tell, like, hey, that person lifts a lot of weights. Or you can look at some people's body frame and tell, like, oh, they're a runner. Oh, they're super lean. They may be indulging in this sport or this type of work in the gym. So that's what I take it from. I remember when I was trying to achieve certain PRs and trying to hit certain, maximum weight limits, and I was like, dang, bro, I could never get to that much weight until I put on a little more pounds. I changed the way I trained. I changed the way I eat, and eventually I got to that. And it was that point where I was like, I never thought I'd get here, but I'm here now. So now what's next, right? But if I had just gave up in my early 20s and been like, man, I hit 315, what's 350? Oh, I hit 335, what's 350? I never would have knew I could do 350 if I had never kept going. You see what I'm saying? And also, I'll give you another example. I remember it was a time when I was in undergrad and I was going through a lot. I had made a lot of mistakes in my younger years, and it had all caught up with me, right? And I had a hiccup in my undergrad, which led to a lot of things transpiring. And at that time, I was like, man, I ain't gonna make it out of this school, man. I might not ever graduate. I might not ever get my degree. But something in my head said, no, you can't give up that easy. You can't give up that easy. I went to the administration. I told them what I was going through. I told them how I was trying to overcome it. I told them a plan that I had. They worked with me. They got me tutors. They got me a group of people who surrounded me and wanted me to win. And with that, I pressed on. I kept going, and eventually I got it, right? And that goes out to one friend of mine who I had seen, I'm not going to say no names, who was like, hey, I want to pursue this in life. And it was asking other people, like, hey, should I pursue it? I'm telling you, do it. Go do it. It's going to be hard. It's going to challenge you. If it's worth doing, if it's worth having, it's going to challenge you. It might be the fight of your life. But once you get it, nobody can take that from you. Nobody can take what's in your mind. Nobody can take the experiences and the lessons you learn from going through that. You see what I'm saying? And you may get to that point too where you asking yourself, am I ever going to succeed at this? Like, I've been doing this so long. I've been failing at it so long. Or I tried this. I tried that. I tried this endeavor. I did it this person's way. I did it that way. And it's not seeming to come together. Am I ever going to succeed at anything? And I'm here to tell you, you're not if you don't keep going. I'm still at that point where I feel like, man, like, I should have did this 10 years ago. I would have already been there. I should have did this. I should have did that. But none of that matters. Only thing that matters is that I keep going. Every day I wake up, I hear so many negative things around me all the time. But the only thing that goes through my mind is I can't lay down that easy. my back against the wall. I'm back in the corner. I got to come out swinging. I got to come out fighting. I got to keep going. I can't give up no matter what. So when I ask myself the question, will I ever succeed? I always come back to the answer. I know I'm going to succeed. I know it for a fact. It's inevitable. I'm doing all the right things. Yes, it's a couple of areas I gotta focus up on and tighten on and have more discipline in. But as long as I'm staying on this track that I see all these other successful people on, or that they had to stay on, and they're come up, I know it's inevitable. It is. I'm gonna succeed at whatever I want to do. Something gonna work. You throw enough stuff to the wall, some will stick. That's how I feel. And I've tried a lot of different things in entrepreneurship. I've tried a lot of different jobs. I just had a career change, 2 years ago that nobody expected. I didn't even expect it in myself. But like I said, I just keep going. I never stop. The worst thing you can do is lose momentum. But at the same time, that momentum isn't lost if you keep going. You see what I'm saying? If that makes sense. It makes a little bit of sense to me. It may not to you. All right. Now, the next question is, am I lacking guidance or leadership? Now, I've said this in a previous video, and I think I remember the author. It was John C. Maxwell, phenomenal author who talks about leadership a lot. He said you can only rise as high as the level of leadership you accept or that you have. And I believe that greatly because it was a certain point in time where I was lacking leadership and guidance in certain things, or I had the wrong leadership and guidance in the areas of my life that I was trying to succeed at, right? So with that being said, am I lacking guidance? Am I lacking leadership? Only thing you have to really look at is your environment and the people you want to be like. That's what I do. Like, where am I at right now? The people that's immediately around me that I can touch, that I can reach out to, and I can speak to, and I can talk to, and, gain knowledge from their experience and their wisdom. I look at that, and then I look at the people that I want to be like. And I say, well, do they have a book? Do they have a podcast? Do they have anything that they're, shedding light on and speaking wisdom on and giving their life experiences that can help me be better in life, right? So once I started looking at it that way, I started pulling all of these different experiences from people, and I started pulling from their resource of knowledge and wisdom, and it started to pour into me to the point where I was like, okay, I'm not lacking it. I have leadership. I have guidance. It don't have to be perfect, but it's perfect for me, right? So basically what I try to do with that, like, I've never had an official mentor. I had some like a mentor when I was running insurance and doing things like that, but that was for business. I've never really had a mentor or anything like that when it came to like life, because I always felt like I kind of know I kind of got a hang on this. I know what I'm doing. I'm not lacking in too many areas. That's not me putting myself on a pedestal. That's not me like trying to be cocky or arrogant or anything. It's just me being honest. I'm being real right now. This is how I feel. This is what I believe. Like, I'm very well balanced, and that's what I'm working on in life. So I feel like the leadership and the guidance that I have, it fills certain voids that I need in my life, right? When you're asking yourself the question, am I lacking leadership? Am I lacking guidance? Are you pulling from the vast amount of knowledge and wisdom that you have surrounding you, right? I remember I was in Tennessee, Knoxville, Maryville, Alcoa, that area, right? And I had family members that I didn't even know that was an attorney. I had people around me that were successful. I had people that my family knew that were also successful, that were doing good things in life, that had made it to certain places that I wanted to reach in life. And I could pick up the phone or I could pull up on them and just ask them certain questions or talk to them at certain times and be like, okay, maybe that's not for me, but I can take the lessons that person learned and apply it to my own life, right? And that's kind of where that guidance and that leadership is. Not somebody telling you exactly what to do. It's them telling you like, hey, I did it this way. That didn't work for me. Maybe it'll work for you. Or, hey, I did it this way. It worked for me. Maybe it worked for you. Maybe not. But that's how you can kind of go through life and do a process of elimination, if that makes sense. Like, okay, I got 10 options. 8 of these don't fit me. 2 of these are right, but one of them is just right. And that's kind of like what I like to do in life. I like to go through a process of elimination, looking at a bunch of different experiences that people have, a bunch of different ways for them to achieve success, and I apply it to my own life, my own skill set, my own talents, and just see what I can take from that and apply it to become just like them, right? Okay. And the last question, well, the last statement is, I want better, but don't know how to attain it, or I don't know how to have better. Better may be physically, better may be your mental health, better may be your spiritual well being, your finances. It may be any of that. And I'm going to go back to the point. Find somebody you admire who has all the things you want. If you can't find this person in the flesh, well, not in the flesh, but right in front of you at your disposal, find them on YouTube, find them on Facebook, find a book, go throughout history and study and look at these people. There's thousands and thousands of books on people giving out game and knowledge on how they became who they are or how they achieved what they achieved, and see if you can apply that directly to your life right now, today, tonight, while you watching this video. See if you can apply that and see if that's a change you can make in your life, right? Because if you want better, I feel like the only thing left to do after you make a statement like that is to take action, right? So I remember me saying, like, when I was younger, like, oh, I want to look like this football player, or I want a body like this. And though I was working out, I didn't really know the nutrition of it. I didn't really know the exercise science. I didn't really know anything about kinesiology. I didn't know anything about chemistry. And once I started learning about all these different things, just because I have a thirst for knowledge, that's when I started learning, like, oh, I need to train this way. I need to treat my body like this. I need to put these type of things into my body if I want these results, right? I had to put it into action once I made that statement. I want better. I want to be smarter. So it don't necessarily mean degrees, but it may be, hey, I got this person right here who's good with their hands. They're good at mechanical work. Let me ask this guy, hey, can you teach me some of that? Or it may be me just shadowing this guy, like just watching him do his thing, and I can learn that way. It may be me saying, like, oh, like this person has a awesome temperament. Like they unbothered. Like a lot of things don't phase them. I see when they get angry, they can kind of shut it off and put it on the back burner and kind of just proceed with that. I admire that in people. I'm a very angry person. I'm a very angry person. You see what I'm saying? I'm a brute in a lot of sense. I'm very aggressive. That's just me. You know what I mean? I gotta be violent and I gotta act on that physically, but that's how I am all the time. I'm a very aggressive person. So I admire that in people, and that's something that I try to take from them and try to apply in my own life, right? So when I want better, I go and I seek out these things from people, but I also try to get advice on how maybe I can apply, how maybe I can be better. But like I say, the main thing is to take action, right? You want better, you want to do better, you want to achieve more. Like, get your goals. I know y'all hear it's cliche, but write them out every single day. Like, write your goals out, think about them, and then start pursuing it, right? When I set my mind to do something, it's not just on instinct. It's just not on a whim. It's not me being impulsive. I have to study the pros and the cons, and I have to go to a deep research. So when I make that decision, I'm well informed and I'm well educated about the decision I'm making. But I'm gonna take action, and I'm gonna bust my behind, and I'm gonna go about it full force, 100% effort, full speed. You see what I'm saying? But that's just my perspective. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to take my advice. I'm just telling y'all my opinions and my outlook on things in certain instances, right? Now, my last part, and then I can end this whole thing, is sometimes you gotta lose to win, right? For me, there's a lot of times in life I can go back to high school, I can go back to college, I can go back to careers and jobs where sometimes you get knocked back 2 or 3 steps, but you had to get knocked back them steps in order to gain one. So I remember a few years ago, I was having a talk with a real good buddy of mine, and they was just telling me about their career and like, hey man, if I leave this place, I'm doing good. They have the exposure, they have the platform, but I feel like I'm just there. You see what I'm saying? I feel like I'm a small fish in a big pond. So with my humble opinion and my thinking, I was like, why wouldn't you go somewhere where you get more opportunities to gain the exposure? Then you can help that platform get more exposure. That's a two for one. They get more exposure, you get more exposure, but also you have more opportunities to bring the exposure to that platform, right? That just made sense to me. If I'm somewhere and I only got 20 or 30 options to choose from, you might be like, okay, I get it. But now if you go somewhere and you got 1,000 options to choose from, now you can kind of spread your wings a little bit more, if that makes sense. I'm trying not to be too specific because I really admire this person and I really like what they did, and I seen how they were slept on when I was around them, and I seen how it took for them to succeed for people to jump on the bandwagon, and now that they're successful at what they do, everybody loves them, right? So that was my thing. Why be a small fish in a big pond when you can go somewhere and be a big fish in a small pond and help everybody around you succeed, win, and eat, right? That's my thing. So sometimes you do have to take a step back to gain. Like I say, I've been in instances where, okay, I'm making this type of money. I'm at this job, I got this position, I got an office, it's downtown, I'm in a suit, I'm in a tie, look fly, look good, it looks good to people. I'm doing good, but I'm not happy. I'm not happy. So I know that eventually I'm gonna get tired of this and I'm gonna probably leave. Why wouldn't I just go somewhere where I'm more happier doing the thing that I do? It might be a little bit less money. I might have to work two jobs, but now I'm more free to do what I want to do. I'm in a happier place, so now I can work harder, and now I don't mind learning the job. Now I don't mind going out and getting continuing education in this field where I can succeed and I can move further along, right? That's just my thinking. Now, everybody don't have that luxury. I understand. But I would say fight like hell to have it, because it is a luxury for you to be able to make those decisions in life, whereas I can take a step back in order for me to get two steps ahead. That's always my belief. Like I say, I don't believe in killing momentum, but I do believe in losing to win, right? You can see that a lot of times. Uh, um, I would say this, like, you have to put yourself in position. That's the biggest thing for me. A position matters more to me than anything, because it's like chess. If you put yourself in the right positions on the board, that position that you created or that you maneuvered to helps you get all the way across the board and achieve a higher status, if that makes sense. Now you can apply that to life. Like, okay, I did all the crap jobs. I did all the BS for everybody. I did all this already. Now I have a wealth of knowledge in my arsenal. Now I have a wealth of experience. Now I have a network of people who can help me achieve certain things in life. Now I'm in a position to where I'm valuable. I'm in a position where I'm so valuable, somebody got to take me to that next level. Or I'm going to take myself to that next level with or without you. Period. I feel like that's the best thing to do right now. Put yourself in position. Yeah, I could easily go for the money. I could easily go for things that's popular that everybody like. But I would much rather put myself in a power position instead of a quick play. You see what I'm saying? And you can do that in football. You could do that in basketball. You can do that in a lot of things. I watch people strategize. Okay, I'm gonna work my way up. Level 1, level 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and eventually I'm at level 1.9. But I'm really on the inside. I'm at level 3. So once I get to level 2, I'm gonna blow past it so fast because of my positioning in life. That's where I would want to be, where I have it down pat with the knowledge, where my body is intact, where my spirit is good, my energy is right. I have enough wisdom and knowledge to understand certain things in life to where it's my time to step in a certain role, I'm gonna blow it out the water every time. Because look at the position I put myself in. I done already did all that back end stuff. I did every type of BS and job and all that stuff you can think of. I've been around the worst people. I've been around the best people. I've done a lot of different things in my lifetime where I feel like I'm about to be in a powerful position. And I would urge each and every person to put yourself in that position. And one more example I can say is like people who say like the whole 9 to 5 thing. Oh, you ain't gonna get rich working a 9 to 5. Oh, you can't get rich making somebody else rich. Man, shut up. Shut up. There's plenty of rich employees around the world, everywhere. Plenty. Plenty. So I don't know who y'all listening to. Maybe y'all ain't run across none, but I know a lot of rich employees. I'm talking about multimillionaires. Met them in the flesh, yes. So I don't agree with that. But like I say, it was positioning. And if you don't believe me, you can go and find business coaches and people online who talk about how they promoted certain people in their business. They're making the kind of figures you want, and they're employees. But it was the position. They started at a small role. They mastered their role. Okay, now you the best one. Let's promote you there. Okay, well, I had already mastered level 1, you know. Now I'm at level 2. I had already mastered level 3 when I was at level 2. So now you keep moving me up. I'm so far ahead that I'm always a step ahead every time you move me up. That's positioning. That's positioning. Not the quick play. Oh, I see a better salary. I'm gonna go for it. Oh, I see this. Why not just stay where you at, or maneuver around, or make yourself so valuable to what these people like? It's almost they need you. They can't really function at this high of a level without you. That's positioning. That's what I believe in. I ain't nobody. Y'all don't have to listen to me. But this is what I'm seeing from a lot of people who make it in certain instances. Even as an entrepreneur, you could be in a field where it's just like, I'm just trying to have enough money to be comfortable. But if you're trying to dominate, if you're trying to thrive, if you're trying to do something nobody has never done before, I believe it's all about positioning. Like I say, it's chess, not checkers. You see what I'm saying? You might have to sacrifice a couple pawns. You might have to sacrifice this. You might have to sacrifice that. But it's to put yourself in this position of, oh, I'm a knight, I'm a bishop, I'm a king, I'm a queen. Yeah, I feel like you got to sacrifice certain things in life. You got to forego certain experiences in life to position yourself better for that next level in your life, right? But that just goes back to what I say. Sometimes you got to lose to win. And I lost a lot. A lot of people I know have lost a lot, a whole lot. But they knew like I'd take this temporary L for a win in the long run. I feel the same way. I've taken a lot of L's in the last couple of years, a lot. But I know from what I've been doing, the moves that I've been making, I'm putting myself in a stronger position because I'm gaining all these things on the back end, right? And that's just what I believe now. What real men go through every day, what men go through every day, or what women go through every day. I can't speak for y'all. But for men, these are questions that we ask ourselves. And a lot of times I tell men this, like, hey, it suck right now. You in the suck, like you hate it. You feel like it's destroying you, but you gotta lose to win. As long as you don't lose yourself or you don't give up, I feel like you're still in a stronger position than a lot of people, right? You gotta have it up top. You gotta be in you, not on you. So this is kind of some things that was going through my mind today. I don't want to keep y'all too long, but I thought this was a great topic. With that being said, have a great night. I'm out.